We're joined now by attorney Lance LoRusso, who has represented more than 80 officers involved in on-duty shootings or in-custody deaths, and who serves as an attorney for a former Atlanta police officer who shot Rayshard Brooks last summer. As you've been watching this opening day of the trial, just give us your take on the Chauvin defense team's strategy and the effectiveness of focusing on what may have been the root cause of George Floyd's death.
Well, as I've said to start with, and I appreciate you having me, the bottom line is we can already see the beginnings from both sides of a defense that's anticipated and the burden of the prosecution. They're going to have to show that whatever actions were taken by Derek Chauvin actually led to his death. And they have to prove that. The prosecution has to prove that beyond a reasonable doubt.
And as someone who's been in courtrooms defending police officers, just explain the goal with the jury and how the defense is looking to reach that standard of reasonable doubt.
I think one of the things that we saw from the defense counsel was an outset statement in the opening to focus on what's happening in the courtroom. And I think one of the jurors said it best. I know there's facts I'm going to hear in this courtroom that no one else knows. And I think the defense attorney did a great job of saying you have to focus on what's happening here and the time outside of this business when this arrest took place, and take your focus off of the bigger picture and what was happening this summer with the riots and protests.
And we also heard that new testimony from the 911 dispatcher who alerted a police sergeant to what she saw unfolding on camera, including that little detail about her thinking that the camera may have actually frozen because Chauvin was in the same position on Floyd's back for so long. How impactful could that kind of testimony be? And how do you think the defense handled it in cross?
I think there were two different points about that I think are powerful. Number one is the fact that this is a person who has witnessed police use of force before. Perfect, lawful force will never look good on video. So obviously they brought out that something she saw attracted her attention to a point where she actually called and said something was wrong. The second thing I think we need to take from that is that it was possible for someone to have their knee or their foot or their back or their arm in an area what we would call a no-touch area or a no-force area, but she expected it to be removed. And I think that's what she was saying, that she may not be a police officer, but she was surprised by the duration of the pressure on his neck. And I think that's what this is going to focus on. And we saw that in the prosecution statement when they said that, there were all these attendant medical conditions, but they were interrupted. He lived with them very well until May 25th. When the knee was put on his neck for 9 minutes. So I think all of that is tying very well into it.
Is there something that you think that the prosecution did exceptionally well today that might be difficult for the defense to combat?
They started out at the outset focusing the jury on the video. And I think that's probably the best and most powerful evidence that the prosecution has, not just because of this case, but people are accustomed to seeing video. We now have gotten so accustomed to seeing either police video or video from live TV, all sorts of videos that we see on the news. So drawing the jury's attention and saying, just look at what you see in front of your eyes and trying to say, don't focus on anything else, because there is going to be a tremendous amount of medical evidence that we expect. They mentioned something about 400 witnesses, 50,000 documents. This is going to be a very, very intense set of facts for the jury to focus on. So I think the prosecution's trying to keep the jury focused on the big picture.
Still super early, just day one in the trial that's expected to go potentially 3 to 4 weeks. Did you feel that there was a side that was more effective just today?
No, I think that you, as you said, you hit the nail on the head. This is at the beginning stages. I think both sides are kind of jockeying for position. And what's happening in the courtroom is both the prosecution and defense are watching the jury. Who is paying attention more to certain evidence? Who is focused more intently than another juror? So the prosecutor and the defense lawyer are still feeling out the jury to see what's important to them. I was surprised that some evidence was allowed in. There was one witness that said that police are always down in this area messing with people. I was kind of surprised the judge let that in, because the bottom line is this is about this police officer on this particular day. And statements like that could be prejudicial to a point where it could interfere with the jury's decision on these facts.
Attorney Lance LoRusso, appreciate your insight. Thanks so much for talking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.